What you are about to experience is out of this world. Politics, history, and of course, a lot of entertainment. It's time to rock it with the Docket.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Dockery with the Dockery Docket. We are here with another fantastic episode of the Dockery Docket. I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you are excited to be here as well. And if you are excited to be here as well, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so then you never miss one of my videos. So it finally happened. Now, I will tell you right now that I thought it was going to happen a lot sooner than this, but Joe Biden is finally dropping out, as after the RNC and Trump was riding high with a big bandage and an even bigger polling lead, Joe Biden decided to throw in the towel. It also didn't help that Joe Biden also was suffering from a case of COVID, which led to a medical emergency, and people were wondering if he had passed away or had a stroke or something. But it seems like all of that was either fake or overblown, and Joe Biden is okay. Now, I don't like Joe Biden as a politician, but I think that he deserves to have a retirement and let the stress of the presidency be released. However, this meant one thing: the Democrats had to pick someone else to be their nominee. Now, both parties have primaries to figure out who the nominee is going to be, and so far, for the Democrat and the Republican side, every state has voted, and Joe Biden received 14 million votes to be the nominee. So when Joe Biden decided to drop out, what exactly happens to all of those votes? If the leader of the primary drops out, does the nomination go to the next person with the most delegates, which would be Dean Phillips with 4 delegates, or Jason Palmer, who has 3 delegates? Well, no, not exactly, as there aren't really any official rules, and the Democrats or Republicans can pick whoever they want. Like, for example, if Trump were to have been assassinated on July 13th, the Republicans would have been open to pick whomever they wanted. But Nikki Haley probably would have had the better chance of winning it because she got a lot of delegates and also got a lot of votes in the primary. So to fix this mess and to fix this whole confusion, with no votes being cast for this person, the presumptive nominee of the Democratic Party is none other than Kamala Harris.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The party that cares so much about democracy had their candidate installed by the Democratic Party without their voices being heard at the ballot box. It makes sense that the Democrats went this route because Harris is the VP, but still it would have been nice for the people to at least have a say on who the nominee should be, because Kamala Harris is not a very popular person in the Democratic Party. As according to Axios, on July 26, a poll came out that showed that 49% of registered voters had a negative view of Kamala Harris, and only 32% had a positive view of the VP. To put that into perspective, according to 538, Joe Biden had an approval rating of only 38%, while Trump has an approval rating of 43%, meaning that Trump is more popular than either of them. However, Kamala Harris has something that Donald Trump doesn't have. She has something that can help her gain some ground, and that, of course, is social media. As ever since Kamala Harris took over the Democratic Party with a coup, social media has been filled to the brim with Kamala Harris memes. People claiming that Kamala Harris is brat, which is a reference to an artist named Charlie XCX, who claimed that brat means you're just like that girl who is a little messy and likes to party and maybe says some dumb things sometimes, who feels herself but then also maybe has a breakdown but kind of parties through it. It's very honest, it's very blunt, little bit volatile. So when Harris announced that she was going to seek the nomination for the Democratic Party, this Charlie XCX posted on X that Kamala is brat, and the people ran with it, making memes of Kamala Harris speaking with this green filter on it. Listen, my entire feed right now is Olympic stuff and Kamala Harris stuff. I can't get away from it. Now, I am not saying that I hate these memes, because I actually find these memes extremely funny. I even decided to make one myself. It is on my YouTube Shorts page. Go check it out after this video. So what is funny about these different memes is that Kamala voters are posting them thinking that they are going to get more Kamala followers, but in reality, they are making fun of Kamala Harris. Like, there's a meme that goes through every single time Kamala Harris says, "What can be?" Okay, unburdened by what has been. She has said this so many times that there's a 3-minute video of her just saying that. Along with that, there's a meme of her talking about falling out of a coconut tree and then laughing hysterically.
My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, "I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?" You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. So all of this is part of the work of this group.
Do people think that this is a good thing? People are clearly trying to make fun of this woman, but liberals think that posting these memes are going to bring her popularity, and I'm just laughing because we are making fun of her. This is hilarious. People are also making fun of the way that she talks, because she uses word salads, almost like you have a 400-word essay and have 50 more words to go. If you're ever in that predicament, call Kamala Harris, because she would be able to help you. It is wacky, weird, annoying, and at the end you are thinking, what in the world is she trying to say? Another thing that Kamala Harris has that Donald Trump doesn't have is the whole entire media apparatus helping her at every single step of the way, because Kamala Harris has a problem. She has to run this campaign on the accomplishments that she had as vice president. And guess what? There are little to no accomplishments that she has had as vice president. One of Kamala Harris's first jobs as vice president was to combat the border and figure out why so many people were coming over. So Joe Biden named Kamala Harris the border czar, which just meant that Kamala was appointed to advise on and coordinate policy in a particular area. This has happened before in politics. Sometimes the president has too much on his plate, so he gives the VP different jobs. Mike Pence in the past was known as the COVID czar, and he was the one that made different policies, made sure that the states were getting the supplies that they need. It's not an official title, it's just something that the vice presidents do, and people claim that they are in charge of it. And doing these different czar jobs helps the vice president gain different experience. So if they run for president, they can say, look at what I did during the administration. However, there was a big problem with this. Kamala Harris did terribly when it came to the border, as famously Kamala Harris went down to Guatemala and told people,
"Do not come."
But come they did.
I'm gonna come.
As following this speech, there was a record of illegal crossings at the southern border of more than 6.3 million migrants and at least 1.5 million others who got in by sneaking past law enforcement, according to federal data. This was a complete and total failure for Kamala Harris, so the Democrats' favorite tool, the media, had to come in and help sweep it all up. As Axios, the same company that in April of 2021 wrote that Kamala Harris was the border czar, posted this article with this caption: "The Trump campaign and Republicans have tagged Harris repeatedly with the border czar title, which she never actually had. Then why on earth did your paper report that she was the border czar?" This didn't just happen once, but it happened a total of 4 times. There are 4 articles claiming that Kamala Harris is the border czar. This is Orwellian-style censorship. Don't believe your lying eyes. Kamala Harris had nothing to do at all with the border. What are you talking about? She wasn't in charge of it. And then there are so many articles talking about how Kamala was never the border czar. So the media is locked in with Kamala. So much so that the DNC is even giving the news outlets a little script to make sure that they are spreading the right information about Kamala Harris definitely not being the border czar. Here's a great video from MRC Newsbusters that shows the script script and the media following it to a T.
She was never actually border czar.
Border czar, which was not something that was formally conveyed upon her.
She's been labeled incorrectly by some members of the right as the border czar.
Republicans named her the border czar.
Republicans have always exaggerated what her job was at the border.
Republicans, again, have labeled her the border czar.
But that's not exactly what President Biden asked her to do.
She was never put in charge of the border.
That wasn't actually her task.
Not to secure it, but to address the underlying roots of migration.
She was charged with leading the administration's efforts to address the root causes of migration.
The root causes of migration to the U.S.
The root causes.
Root causes.
Root causes.
The root causes.
Root causes
of immigration.
We also want to point out that right now apprehension numbers continue to decrease in our country, especially over the last few months.
And I just want to note that border crossings have been going down.
And illegal border crossings are lower right now.
Migrant crossings continue to drop.
Border crossings are way down.
Border crossings are...
This is propaganda at its finest, and it is sad that they have to lie to us like this. The sad thing is the media has to do this, though, because Kamala Harris is so unpopular. Even Barack Obama, the leader of the Democratic Party, didn't want to endorse Kamala Harris right away because he was scared that she was going to lose to Donald Trump. Then they posted this cringy stage video of Kamala finally getting the support of the former president. Along with that, Black Lives Matter, the group that Kamala Harris helped fundraise for in Minnesota, are now mad at the Democrats and their nominee selecting process. As the group's X page claimed, installing Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democratic Party a party of hypocrites. Black Lives Matter and other Democrats wanted to pick who their nominee was going to be. Kamala Harris just getting the job makes her look like she didn't even earn it. She didn't have to go on the campaign trail. She didn't have to knock on doors or make speeches. All that she had to do was call the party delegates and boom, she was the nominee. This might split the party, but the media is going to try and bury all of Kamala Harris's dark past with memes and lies. But guess what? We won't do that. However, that will have to be discussed on the next episode of the Dockery Docket. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.